Fragile is the way you say.
Sometimes we're not aware of why we respond or act the way that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, it's a trauma attached to it.
Ain't no man in my house to stress me out today.
I ain't spinning the block.
You have to learn to not care because sometimes caring when you shouldn't can get you in trouble.
If it's a relationship and you're fussing and fighting all the time and there is no resolve, then you understand that something has to give.
So, when do we let go?
What's up, y'all? This is Tammy Valia.
I'm Shy Lou.
And I am Imani Love, and this is Be For Real. Okay, guys, what's up? Welcome back to episode 2 of Be For Real. If you're tuning in, yes, we have made it, y'all, to the second episode.
Oh my.
Oh my God. So, today, y'all, we're going to be talking about letting go.
Ooh.
Now, when you talk about letting go, you got to be specific.
Yeah.
Not Pacific, but specific. So, y'all know I just came out with a single.
Yes, turn up. Yes.
Don't you do it.
Let go.
Yeah.
By yours truly, Money Love.
It is dope.
Thank y'all.
Streaming on all platforms.
All of them.
Please,
all of them.
Don't make me emotional.
So, Imani, what inspired you to write this song?
I had my heart broke real bad.
Talk about it.
Real like that. I was crying just like that. Like, like hold your chest crying. Yeah. If y'all tuned into the last episode, then you know I talked a little bit about it. About being married in college and not really being in love, just doing what I felt was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Him trying to do the right thing by his child, and us not really being compatible for each other, just trying to make something work.
Yeah.
And basically, I stayed too long. We both stayed in it too long, and he left, and I was left to deal with my trauma from my childhood, the trauma from that relationship.
Yeah.
Just everything was hitting me at once, and it was really hard to get through. I definitely went through depression coming out of that, because you know when you get a divorce, it's like the death.
It is a death.
You want to death. So I was grieving real bad.
Wow.
All the stages of grief I went through. And I had this producer hit me up, because at the time, the only thing that really brought me peace was dancing and freestyling on like Instagram and Facebook. So I would like turn on the beat and just write, like, even if it was fussing him out.
Yeah.
I'd be writing how I felt in the song, and that's how I that's how I coped.
Yeah.
So music has definitely been therapy for me. So the producer, his name is Derek Perry. Shout out to the chemist.
Shout out.
Awesome producer. Hit me up and was like, hey, we should collab. I got these beats. Listen to them. You can write to them. You can write to one of them, all of them. It's up to you. But he believed in me enough to like invest in me, you know. And so I heard that beat in particular, the one for Let Go, and I just started writing. And once I sung it and heard it played back to me, it was kind of like, I can make it through this now. Like,
yes.
I knew I was pressing my way through and I was surviving.
Yeah.
But once you hear your story sung back to you, it's like, I'm going to be all right.
Yeah.
I'm going to be all right. Yeah. Because I had never had anybody like walk out on me before. So that was really, really painful to process. Like I couldn't understand that at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, that was the inspiration. A failed relationship. And so you listen to the song, it's not just about letting go of relationships or men or women in relationships is really about letting go of everything. Like just healing 100%.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
doing what's best for me, walking into my blessings for
Yeah.
me, because I can't afford to hold on to all this stuff. Sometimes when you are looking for like a new blessing or some God to give you some things, it's like trying to hold on to all of that. Your hands are way too full to receive anything, because you holding on to all your trauma, all your pain, all
Yeah.
your anger, bitterness. I had to let go of that stuff in order to grab what he
Right.
had for me and to be
Yeah.
better. So, it's definitely been a journey, but I'm glad I went through it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely glad I went through it. I'm better now because of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, one of the things I wanted to talk about was like knowing when to let go.
That's good.
So, when do we let go? And keep in mind, we can tackle it from any aspect.
Yeah.
Relationships. Where y'all want to start? Relationships or traumas?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Because I think all relationships are, even family relationships.
Yeah, business relationships
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Like all of those.
Yeah.
Like I'll say relationships first.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when do we let go? When do y'all say this has to be it?
Me personally, I think when your when your spirit tells you to let go. That some say it's a spirit, some say the Holy Spirit, some say it's intuition, some say it's multiple different things, just a gut feeling. But whenever it becomes too much
Yeah.
to the point where you almost feel like you can't survive if you don't move on, or close to that, because you don't want to get that far. But when it becomes overwhelming and too overbearing for you to continue to dwell in or dwell amongst, because like I've experienced that. I know like from, even though I know from like past like friendships, relationships and things of that nature, like sometimes you want to hold on to something that's so familiar.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like that word, familiarity. That word, that thing alone, it could put you in some bad situations.
Oh yeah.
Because you feel like you're obligated to stay,
Absolutely.
stick around, and just be there and just tough it out. Like just stick through it, when sometimes it's not worth
It's
it.
not worth it.
Sometimes I understand sacrifice. I understand considering others. I understand all of those things, but sometimes it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is more of a strain than it is a blessing. It's more, it's not. Sometimes it's just not good for you. So when you get to the place where it becomes too much, and it doesn't have to be to the point where you feel like throwing a glass at somebody's face.
Absolutely.
But it can be just like, oh my goodness, like I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like if it's a relationship and you're fussing and fighting all the time and there is no resolve, then you understand that something has to give.
Absolutely.
Like if it's a business relationship and y'all just can't seem to agree, and everything that you want to do, they want to do the opposite of. And it's like, no, something's got to give. So I think that's the place when you have to realize, okay, I got to step away.
Yeah.
And even if it's just for me to get a brand new, look on things. If not, I got to go.
Yeah.
And it's time to let this thing go.
Yeah. And you got to learn how I was talking to Imani and then some of my other kids, and I was talking to them about relationship from experience, hanging on to something because it's familiar. Hanging on to something because, well, that's my friend. Let me try to, see where it's going to go.
Yeah.
You have to learn to not care because sometimes caring when you shouldn't can get you in trouble.
Ooh,
And
Yeah.
it can make you stay in a situation where you know you're not.
yeah.
It's not going anywhere. Your spirit is telling you it's not going anywhere. You wake up, it's on your mind. You go to sleep, it's on your mind. And then at that point, you're trying to say, well, this at the end of the day, this is my friend, but it's making no sense to stay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to learn how to not care, and it may seem kind of harsh, especially when you're Christian and they're telling you to care. But there's some things that it don't mean you're no good. It's a hindrance. It's a stronghold of stopping everything, every progression on every in every area of your life. You just standing still, and so you have to learn to healthily, if that's a word,
Healthily.
not care. Because they could be feeding you something. Well, I got this going on, I got that going. And because you care, you sticking right there. And it's still unhealthy.
Yeah.
So I tell, people, when I listen to that situation, I say, you got to not care. And you got to move on.
Yeah.
They tell you something, I'm going to pray for you, but I got to go. Because this is unhealthy. You got to learn to not care and let go.
Yeah.
Move on. I love you, but I got to go.
I agree.
Yeah.
I cover you in prayer. That ain't my job anyway. That job belongs to the Lord. It's not.
right.
I can't carry that. I won't built to hang on the cross and carry your burdens and mine. So you feeding me this stuff and pretty much taking advantage of the situation because you know we are caring people.
Yeah, women are naturally nurturers.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know that. So it was so. But this got this going on. Okay, you stay another day. The next day is something else. But you got to learn how to not care. That's what I would tell the women. The men, if you find yourself in that situation, you got to say, I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Don't let nobody tell you it's okay to not care, for the health of your well-being and your peace of mind.
Yeah,
your
you're not
mental.
a bad person
Mm-mm.
because you decide to care more about yourself.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And forgiveness is not the same as like choosing to forgive somebody. How do you say it? You don't have to stay because you forgive them.
Yeah.
You can forgive a person and still move on with your life.
Oh, yeah.
And it's okay to do that. Like, it's okay to let go. Like,
Yeah.
especially this is when I realized that I should have been let go. Okay. So, I'm in this relationship. I'm coming home. And every day, I'm pretty much mentally exhausted. Like, I'm upset because he's checked out. So, he's no longer wanting to be married or in a relationship. So, he don't have to kiss me. He don't have to hug me. He don't have to sex with me. He don't have to do nothing that he don't want to do. And I'm exhausted. My mind, like, how can I fix it? How can I make it better? What did I do wrong? To the point where it was making me angry. Like, what did I do I felt like, and I told my best friend this at the time, I was like, I wouldn't say that I'm a perfect person, but I don't feel like I deserve to be neglected or abandoned. And the reality of it is, I just cared more. I feel like I cared more about the situation. And I wanted to fix the situation more than that person wanted to fix the situation. Because I'm over here crying and I'm boo-hooing and you going about your everyday life. Making time. And that's the other thing. You also need to let go when you see that people are making time for the things that they want to make time for the people they want to make time for. And then they leave you over there and you crying, you dealing with it, you talking to your homegirls. I don't get it. I don't get it. Get this. It's time to let it go.
That's right.
It's time to let it go. Because while you're losing your mind, you losing sleep, they fine. They moving on. They doing their thing. It's when you start cutting off access to yourself that people understand, dang, she really a good woman.
Yeah.
Dang, I should really value them as a partner or even if it's a business relationship, dang, I shouldn't have took advantage. Because they was really good at what they do. I'm going to be good at what I do regardless. Like, so you have to make that decision to, okay, I forgive you, but I'm still first.
Yeah.
Period. I forgive you, but I'm still first.
Yeah.
And they're neglecting you, like I was saying earlier, learning to not care because you didn't care when the tears I dropped. You didn't care when I came to you time after time, said, listen, this and that's going on, trying to talk, and you push your feelings to the side. They didn't care.
Yeah.
But as soon as you say, okay, it's time to go, that's when, oh, wait. No.
Or they try to manipulate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Make you
guilt trip.
feel like, yes.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you don't get to guilt trip me into staying into this situation.
Absolutely.
No.
But I need you. But I
what I'm gonna do?
What I'm gonna do without you? How am I gonna make sure that this happens? How am I gonna make?
Right.
How are you making sure that you have what you needed when I wasn't being satisfied in this partnership?
Right.
You've been doing good. So when I make the decision to take care of me, keep taking care of you.
Yeah.
And so I think even going through the situation that caused me to let go, it made me realize, like, dang, I'm really valuable.
Yeah.
I'm valuable. I'm a necessity. I'm so much of a necessity that I'm never gonna allow somebody to make me feel that low again.
Ever.
So that's where Imani Love was born at. Like, I was born in that terrible space where, crying myself to sleep, trying to figure out, am I really that bad of a person?
Wow.
Like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Like, going through that and realizing, like, you really love, like, you are really a beautiful person inside and out. It took me to talk myself into that. And I said, you know what? That's my name. Imani Love.
Yes, girl.
Because I am love. I represent love. Like, and then I started writing about love music. And so I was just like, this is who I am. So I don't know. I just feel like we should. I'm not saying, because I never want to get it confused. I don't think that it's just men out here abusing women. It's women abusing men as well.
Absolutely.
And so this is for everybody.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on that. Like, this is for everybody that feels taken for granted. Or maybe you've been saying the same thing to this person for a long time, but they taking you for granted.
Yeah.
Bro, they taking you for granted, sis. So you just gotta wake up and choose you.
That's it.
Choose you. And once you say it, that's when it becomes real.
Yeah.
It's not enough just to think it or to tell somebody else, yeah, I'm gonna wait till they come over here. I'm gonna cut them off. Then they come over there, and because they doing good that day by you don't say nothing. Oh, it's all right. We good today. We had 3 good days. 3 good days straight where we didn't argue, where it wasn't no problem. So you think that it's but then when they get mad at you, the true colors come out again.
Yes, so they go right back to acting funny.
Yes.
And not talking.
And you back to crying.
Oh my God.
Square one.
Yeah.
So no, it's not enough to have 3 good days and then every other day y'all going back and forth. That's not enough. When you learn a lot about a person when they get mad.
Yeah.
And I told Don this when we first started dating. I don't want to know who you are when things are perfect, when things are great. Who are you when you mad at me?
Yes.
Absolutely.
When you mad at me, how you gonna talk to me then?
Absolutely.
That's when it matters, because people can say one thing about a woman. We leave mentally before we leave physically.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And part of the reason being is because we don't forget nothing.
Yeah.
We remember everything. So when they say stuff and then they be like, I ain't say that. I took a mental note.
Yes.
I put it in my filing cabinet.
Yes. I will never forget, especially if you've never been talked to like that before.
Yeah.
You gonna remember it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's gonna take a long time to forget it.
Yeah.
And I've met men like that where they don't forget like that, because you can't forget what a person said to you when they were angry, because it's like you meant that.
Yeah.
You meant that.
Yeah.
So this just like the scripture, out of the heart, out of the mouth flows the abundance of the heart. It was in your heart. before you said it. You meant to say it.
You meant every word of it.
Yeah. Yep.
You meant to say that.
And that can lead us to the trauma side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like out of the heart, like flows to the mouth. Like that can lead to the trauma side. Like how and when do you, it's not when, because trauma is trauma. But how do you go about letting go of your trauma? Like something that's been sticking with you since you were 2, since you were 5, since you were 7. Something happened in college, something happened in high school, something happened when you were at a party one day and just a kid. Like, how do you let go of?
We mothers over here.
Yes, absolutely. How do you let go of something that just drives you mentally?
Yeah.
And it just eats away at you every single day.
Yeah.
How do you say, yo, it's time
Yeah.
for me to let this go? Like, I'm killing my relationships. I'm causing other people to feel bad because I'm hurting, you know? Like I'm causing people to have the same kind of pain I'm having because I'm feeling the pain. And sometimes I don't realize that I'm pushing it and projecting it on other people, but I'm hurting people. Like, is it in that moment when you realize that you're hurting someone, or that you're causing pain to people, or that you're just not being a good person? Like, you're starting to respond to people in a way where nobody wants to be around you.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to stop and have a conversation with you. Like, nobody wants to deal with you. Like, how do you get past your trauma?
Yeah. That's real.
Roger is the way you say it.
The very people that I thought I could not succeed without are the people that I have to let go. To be who I've always been did not make sense. Some amazing things have occurred, and some not so great things have occurred, but I'm here. I did not realize that dreams can change. I literally had an idea of my life, and it's not happening that way. But there comes a time in a person's life where they have to not care. If you enjoyed this clip and would like to enjoy more, search the RXS Podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, or watch the RXS Podcast on RXS Entertainment YouTube channel.
I think honesty. I think you got to be honest with yourself, because trauma will make you think that what you see and what a person is doing to you is the same as what you went through or experienced. So you start handling people based off of your trauma. So the moment that you can be real and say, this is my trauma speaking. This ain't that person. I'm not even mad at that person. I'm mad at the fact that this looks and feels too familiar.
Yes.
So I think the first thing is honesty. Being able to tell the difference between a person really making a mistake and mishandling a situation, or maybe you're overthinking and your traumas are speaking for you. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about daddy was abusive and so this man is abusive and maybe I'm mistaken. No. That's a clear understanding that he's doing the exact same thing that you experienced as a trauma. I'm talking about conversation wise. You're in a relationship and your man says something and you take what he says and compare it to, well, all my life they told me this. All my life they told me that. So now you're triggered by your trauma. Yeah. I ain't talking about nobody putting their hands on you or belittling you intentionally. And so you could tell when somebody talking down to you and when somebody is just talking in general, and you have to assess it for what it is. Are you being funny? What you mean by that?
Yeah.
Because that's my go-to. If I don't understand what you mean by what you say before I go into my trauma, before I start handling you, I'm going to ask you what you mean, because I could take it any kind of way.
Come on, let's be for real.
Be for real.
Yeah.
I done had that. I've been there, because I have a lot of different traumas. Like, I mean, listen, it's deep.
Come on.
Be for
deep.
real.
Yeah.
It's deep. It's deep to the point where my conversations, I had to step back. Like, I'm gonna give an example. So I believe that for a long time I argued through my traumas.
Oh, explain.
Like, I was so used to being talked to a certain way and being handled a certain way
Yeah.
that I could never see that person, like whoever it was I was arguing with. I could never just argue with that person about that situation. I was arguing with my ex-husband.
Oh.
And you won't nowhere around.
Wow.
So it's like, we arguing, say me and my brother arguing, right? He ate the last cheeseburger on the stove. And he like, bro, go ahead somewhere. I'm taking it as you dismissing me like Mike dismissed me. Like, you talking to me how he talks to me. And you not finna talk to me like that. Because ain't nobody else gonna treat me like that. Like, the trying to defend, he's not him.
Yeah.
He ain't got nothing to do with what he did to me.
Yeah.
But I'm arguing with you like you the person that hurt me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm arguing with this person. I'm arguing with family. I'm arguing with new relationships like they're the person that hurt me. And they're not the person. He not here.
Yeah.
So
when did you realize that that's what was happening? Like, was it an immediate thing? Like, afterwards, dang, I probably shouldn't have went that far, because I realized I wasn't really upset with him. I was upset with my ex. Like, when did that realization take place?
I think it was when a conversation with my brother went way too far. And we both was yelling out traumas. Like, you just like my dad, and you just like my ex-husband. And it went way too far. Too far to the point where it affected my brother. Like, bro, you really said that to me, and you my sister. But I was just protecting myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to hurt him.
Yeah.
I was trying not to be hurt again. So
That's good.
it made me realize, like, I went home that night. I drove, we got into it in the car because I had got into it with my ex-boyfriend. And when I got home, we had to go drop my sister off. So me and my brother went to go drop my sister off. And
y'all, we got babies.
they're going in.
We got babies.
So, she want her daddy, y'all. Don't. That's all she know how to say right now. Dad. But
And he's teething, so just
both of them teeth, they're gonna have rice
Yes.
pigs in the bottom. Listen, but look, we're everyday people,
Yes.
and
Yes.
this is why we're doing this,
Yes.
because we deal with everyday situations, and we have kids, and all of that combined into one is a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
Life be life.
Absolutely.
For real. So yeah, back to the story. I was dropping my sister off at my grandma's house, and my ex had called me, and it was late. We had dropped her off late, and so I didn't want him to think that I was out doing it, because we had just got into it before I got on the road to come home. And my brother was joking, and he was in my ear, and I'm like, stop, chill out. Long story short, I got irritated. I'm like, chill out. I offended my brother in the way that I said to calm down, to chill out. And it went from there. Like, when he said, he made a statement that hurt my feelings, and I went from there. Like, who you talking to? Don't talk to me like that. Now we arguing in the car. I'm like, you can get out. You can walk. I was hot. Like 100 hot. And he looked at me like, bro, I ain't getting out of nowhere. I didn't want my brother to get out.
Yeah,
for real.
of course.
Of course I didn't want him to get out. I just wanted him to stop yelling at me.
Yeah, of course.
I just wanted him to shut up yelling at me. But still, like that night, that's something that you don't forget, and that you realize, like, when I dropped him off, hey, Daddy is at home. Calm down. Yeah, that. So I wanted him to be quiet. Like, I want him to chill out. So the argument went far, and then I'm like, okay, I got him home, I dropped him off, and I drove all the way back to High Point. Yeah, that night it was late, and I drove all the way back home because I had never been that mad. Number one, my mama raised us to be tight, so I ain't never been that mad at my brother before, ever. We've never argued like that before. We hadn't argued like that before. That was our first time, like, really get into it. And so I didn't know how to feel. All I knew was this feels too familiar. I felt this feeling before, and I need to get to my safe place. Like, when I went through my initial divorce, it took a long time for me to come around family. I stayed gone for a minute. Like, I would come home every blue moon, but my safe space was in the dark, in the quiet, where I could process. So after that same situation that felt similar to what I was used to going through, I migrated, went home, and I went to my quiet space to process what just happened.
Yeah.
Until I could figure it out. Like, what in the world is wrong with me?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's the prime example of going through stuff, going through traumas. But it's not just trauma. We don't just have relationship trauma, but we also have family trauma.
Yeah.
Like, and it ain't nothing but somebody mishandled those people, and they mishandled you.
Yeah.
And now you gotta get over what they did to you. But the difference is, I'm gonna get through what happened to me because you never got over what happened to you, and that's why you mistreated me.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody got to make the decision.
Break the cycle.
Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
got to flip the switch and choose to do different than what was done to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mom, you feel it?
Huh?
You feeling it?
I am. Like, one of the things that, like you saying, one of the things, like, and I ain't coming against nobody that cussed at their children, okay?
Yeah.
To each his own, but I didn't like it as a kid, right?
Yeah.
So we were getting fussed at, we were getting chastised or whatever. You know, if I got cussed at, I didn't like it, right?
Yeah.
So I said, you wait till I get when I get grown, I ain't gonna cuss at my kids. So I choose to do it that way because, you know, all kids, some kids is not bothered by it, I guess, but I was a child that was.
Yeah.
And so that was a trauma for me. Like, your trauma may be this, but mine is, I just didn't like that. And so being married to somebody that cussed, we had to have that conversation. I was like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And it's just, he wasn't cussing at me. He was just like in his conversation. So he had to explain it to me, and I had to tell him, okay, this is why I'm like this. He was like, I didn't know that. He was like, now I know.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah. So I said, that's why I raised my kids like that. I don't know why I'm like that, but I am. So for me, that's a trauma for me. So I said, when I raise my kids, I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna do it like that. Not that my way is any perfect than anybody else's, but I'll go to the Lord and I said, listen, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I ain't never been a mother before. I know I don't want to do this, but this is how this made me feel as a kid. So when it comes to my kids, teach me how to do this without, because, you know, sometimes you can get upset with your kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give me some more words, you know, to use other than that, because that made me feel like this, and I don't want that, you know, to make my kids feel like that. So that was a trauma for me.
Yeah.
A trauma for me that I had to go to the Lord and say, teach me how to heal from this. No, for real. Like, literally having to wake up in the morning. Some mornings I wouldn't think about it. And not just that trauma, but other things like having to forgive people for things that they had done to me. That was in the family. And or an ex-husband. So I said, Lord, listen, I need you to teach me, because I'm waking up If I hear the person's name, I get angry immediately. That means they still got some type of control over me.
Yeah.
So I had to ask the Lord, listen, if I had to do it in my own will, I
Yeah.
can't do it. I can't forgive.
Yeah.
Because what they did was heavy.
Yeah.
So I need your help. Like I need you to help me to get over this trauma. Because this is a trauma. And not only that, but traumas that were done to my children. A mother's reaction is kind of different than trauma done to you.
Yeah.
So I had to forgive people that had caused trauma to my children. So that was heavy. So I literally, if you're asking, how do you get over that? I personally had to say, Lord, every day. Some day I might wake up and I'm good, but some days I might wake up and I'm thinking about it like, man, people take advantage of you, like, if versus somebody outside of the church, or you try to live your life how the Lord asks you to. You're trying to live in peace, as peaceful as you can among people, and people can still come in, try to do harm to you, and try to do harm to your children. People in prison every day because behind something that they did that somebody did to their children.
Yeah.
So Lord, you're gonna have to help me.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to help me because my flesh would love to take over. And my flesh would love to get revenge.
Yeah.
So I had to wake up in the morning and say, Lord, heal me from this. Show me. I choose to forgive, not on my own strength, because I don't want to forgive. I want to give, an eye for eye, tooth for tooth.
Yeah.
A literal eye for eye.
Well, a literal eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
Yeah.
Literally knock your tooth out. But
Cool pow.
What? Cool pow. Real hard. Yeah.
Live
But I had to ask the Lord. And still sometimes today I can wake up. Because you can think you heal from something. And you can get 2 years down the road and be like, and think about it. And I'm like, I can't believe that happened,
Yeah.
And talking about it, talking about what happened. But I literally sometimes have to wake up and say, Lord, if I choose to forgive today, but I can't do it on my own strength, I need you to help me because I refuse to continue to give those people control. And then having to still, pour into your grown kids, something happened to them, something happened to their children, saying, listen, this is what you're going to have to do. Because otherwise that person still win and they're going on with their life,
Yeah.
Had to put them in the hands of the Lord, like my grandmama would say.
Yes.
And maybe there is someone watching that like you don't really know about how to put your traumas in the hands of the Lord, or what does that even look like for me to pray to let go? Because I've known the Lord for a long time. I was in church real young, and most singers are most R&B singers started in church.
Yeah.
So we hear about trusting in the Lord. I will trust in the Lord, and it's easier said than done. But it works.
It does.
It works.
Yeah.
So just want to encourage somebody, like anybody, that if it's hard for you to let go or give your traumas, like work through your traumas, like she said, take it one day at a time.
One day
okay?
at a time.
Help me today, God. That's a simple prayer.
Yes.
Help me not to fight today,
Please.
God.
I don't want to black no eyes today.
Ooh,
I don't want to go to jail,
that's it.
God.
Ooh-wee.
Please.
That one right there.
I don't want to catch a charge.
God.
Let's be
God.
for real.
Right.
Please, let's be for real.
Like, be my way. And my thing was this: be my way of escape.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's a simple prayer. God,
Yeah.
today, be my way of
Yeah.
escape. Because we make God seem so complicated, but he's so available to all of us.
Absolutely.
That's what's crazy about it.
Yeah.
Like, I used to feel like I have to be perfect. I have to cross every T, dot every I for him to deal with me. And if I wasn't crossing every T or dotting every I, my traumas got me thinking he don't want to deal with me today. But that's how my ex-husband loved me. That's not how God loves me.
Right.
God want me exactly how I am, in the realness, in the fullness. I done cussed. I done stumped my toe. Went off. Probably done had sex or something. I done did something wrong.
Yeah.
I done messed up somewhere. And I'm trying to hide from God as if I could. And he's like, what are you doing?
I see you.
You can't run from me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to force you to talk to me,
Yeah.
but he's available to whomever.
That's right.
And I want to share that because I know anybody can be watching, and the church and the world we look divided, but we're so much alike.
Yeah.
We're so much alike.
Yeah.
Because the church is full of people. And this is why people get disappointed when they go to church. Because they go in there thinking, oh, you love God. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You supposed to be perfect. You better not do nothing wrong. This is the mindset that they take on, thinking that the people look like God when really the people are striving to look like God, but they have traumas and pain,
struggles,
and they have sins that they have not accomplished yet or figured out or worked through. No sin is greater than the other. They're all the same. They have, and if you don't know what sin is, struggles.
Yeah.
Things that are deemed to be faults in the eyes of God. Everybody got them. We all have faults. We all have things we struggle with that we know better than to be doing. So we come into the church thinking, hey, it's all together in here. I'm not going to get hurt in here. Wrong. They're people.
Yeah.
They're people. And that's why the church is looking exactly like the world, because you got people in the church that's supposed to be holding an example, but they got their own stuff too.
Yeah.
So I just say that to say, I don't know not one person that don't have a trauma. We all trying to work through and figure it out. And like I said earlier, sometimes you could be fighting people, but you really fighting your trauma. Sister so-and-so ain't nasty to you because of you. She nasty to you because somebody was nasty to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
People unload on people. Yeah. Not even knowing like something is really wrong. You really need to talk to somebody about how you feeling.
Yeah.
But they unload. They, instead of talking to somebody, they're not being honest about, this is my trauma. Like, why am I so mean to people? Why am I so nasty? Why am I so standoffish? It's because you dealing with your trauma.
Yeah, that's good.
You gotta be honest, man. And that's something that the world it's hard to do. It's hard to do.
Well, first, honestly, they gotta be aware. Like we have to be. Sometimes we're not aware of why we respond or act the way that we do. And 9 times out of 10, it's a trauma attached to it. Like we got to get to the root of it, and that's the best way to let go.
Yes.
That's the best way to let go.
Yeah.
Finding out what it is. Honestly, finding out what it is that put you in a position to respond to what happened to you the way that you do. That's a good way to let go.
Yeah. And finding things also, I think it helps to find things to help you like relieve or release the tension from that you deal with. Like maybe it's depression. Like I know coloring, painting, because at one point in time when I was going through my divorce, or that divorce, because it ain't mine no more, thank you, God.
Oh, yes.
Hallelujah.
Going through that divorce.
Hallelujah.
That ain't my man. That is not my man. My man name is Donovan.
Let's go.
Him, big black, sexy.
Okay.
man.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Don't
Next
get it
point.
twisted.
Okay.
Twisted.
Okay.
All right. Sorry.
You see the glasses.
Sometimes
You look
when
at the
stuff, I done came a long way, y'all. Sorry. Testimony time.
Come on now.
Testimony time. But when I was going through that thing over there, you know, I was having like my chest would get tight. And I started working for United Healthcare. And I didn't know what was going on with me. I just knew that my chest would get really tight and it felt like I couldn't breathe. And I had never experienced anything like that before. So I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is wrong with me? Why my chest getting tight? Why I feel like I can't breathe? I know I had McDonald's, but I know it's calories and stuff. But I ain't got calories all my life. I mean McDonald's all my life. Y'all know. But if you was born in the 90s, say you ain't eat no McDonald's as a kid. Say you ain't eat no Big Mac. I dare you. Because you lying. McDonald's was the joint back then.
69-cent burgers.
For real.
Come on now.
With the extra onion.
Let's go.
Listen, they used to be popping.
Who?
Them and Burger King. But I don't know what's going on now. God trying to get us ready for something. Get your life right. Eat right.
Clean out.
For real.
Healthy living.
Let's go.
But so I'm like, I know I had a Happy Meal or something, but what's going on with my chest, God?
Yeah.
And it was not going nowhere. And so I started painting. At first I started walking because they had like a little track in the office. I started walking. I'm like, okay, I feel better sometimes, but what I'm gonna do when I'm at home and this happens? So I started painting. I went to Five Below, got me one of them little paint sets.
Come on.
For $5. And I started painting. I didn't know what I was doing. Can't paint worth nothing. But I started painting and I felt better.
Yeah.
I started coloring. I turned on some jazz music. I set the ambiance.
Yeah.
Because ain't no nigga in my house. Excuse me, Lord.
Wow. Bleak. But we'll be...
Ain't no man in my house to stress me out today.
Yeah.
Like, the problem is gone. He left. So now I got to deal with what he left me with. And that's just the honesty. Once you are no longer attached and you remove yourself from people and things that made you forget who you were.
Wow.
Now you got to spend time getting to know who you are. You're not even the same person after that.
Right.
So that's what I did. I went and got some painting sets, crayons, all of that. Because I got to figure me out now.
Yeah.
I got to find my peace again. So now what I thought was going to be the worst experience is becoming the most beautiful thing because there's peace in this house now. I don't have to walk in my house and go straight to my room and close the door. I don't have to run from nothing. I don't have nobody reminding me of my faults every day. I'm good.
Yeah.
So now I get to deal with me. Cause like I said, I think that he had his own traumas as well that caused him to act a certain way. And I had my traumas. And when you dealing with your traumas, y'all fighting each other. Both of y'all got traumas, y'all fighting each other. So it's like, okay, now I got to deal with the part of it that is my fault, the 50%. Because relationships are 50-50.
Yeah.
Now, to say it's 100% another person's fault is not being realistic.
That is a whole lie.
Because you're going to react or respond to something now.
Come on now.
They ain't arguing by themselves.
Yes, that's right.
So it's 50-50, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it being partially your fault and partially their fault. Because you know how it was my fault? And this is no cap. I stayed way too long.
Yeah.
I saw it when it was not for me, and I was in it still. If I could go back to 18, 19-year-old Imani, I would have said, you know you don't have to be in this relationship, right? Don't feel bad for walking away. It's okay. I would have talked to pregnant me and said, you know you can go home, right? You can transfer your credits. I know it's a lot. It's going to be a lot. But going there and playing house is not going to be good for you. Because you're going to lose yourself. So, yeah. Like, I should have took ownership of my own responsibilities. And then let's talk about being in that relationship and being afraid, because what am I going to go back to? That was on my mind. Like, what? Yeah. I'm in school. I don't have a job. I don't have a full-time job. And he working. And then I was just like, I lose everything if I leave here because I'm not going to finish school.
You felt stuck.
But you in actual reality, you would gain everything.
Yeah.
Mm.
But the fear was talking.
Yeah.
And it was like, I got to stay here. I got to stay here. I got to stay here. But when he left, and you know, I really think that sometimes when we put ourselves in situations that we're not supposed to be in, that God will adjust that thing to where I've been telling you this ain't where you're supposed to be at. I've been saying it, but you still here. You ain't leaving. So somebody finna leave.
Yeah.
Somebody finna leave. And I'm going to have you where I want you because I know what's best. So there's a picture of Jesus. We know Jesus, what Jesus was copper toned, copper skinned, but it's white Jesus, you know. In the picture it is. It's white Jesus. And he got a teddy bear.
That's my favorite picture.
He got a big teddy bear behind his back. And it's a little girl. And she got the baby teddy bear. And she got her little baby teddy bear. And he got his big teddy bear behind his back. And he asking for the baby teddy bear so he can exchange it. But she's saying,
that's my favorite picture.
And she's saying,
He's
but
kneeling.
I love it. Yeah.
Yes.
But I love it.
Mm.
I'm going to find it. I got it.
That's one of my favorites.
I'm going to show the people because they got to see that.
I show 'em.
Find copper Jesus. I'm playing, y'all. Don't take me serious. I be saying crazy stuff. Don't cancel me. Y'all love to cancel everybody nowadays. What? Cancel. But we being for real, right?
Yes.
So let me be for real.
Y'all, look at Mama Tammy over there.
We being for real. Now y'all know y'all grandma got that picture of Jesus' house. My grandma show got hers. You hear me? I said, Grandma, why you still got it? All right. The history. But anyway, thank you WSSU for teaching me the culture. But the little teddy bear was my relationship that I was holding on to that I knew won't no good for me.
Yeah.
And the big teddy bear was all the peace, everything. If I would have held on to that, if I would have fought for it, I had a conversation of healing once I came out of that situation. And he was like, why you never called? Why you didn't ever try to I wanted the relationship. I just didn't want to be in the situation because it was toxic. We weren't agreeing. We was fighting. You know, why you ain't called? And I said,
Girl.
What?
Yeah, he asked me that whenever everything was good and we decided to get along. Yeah.
This
This how people be thinking though. And that's what my spirit man was doing what you doing, but the outside was too cute to do that.
Yo, what?
He was like, why you never, if you would have called, I really didn't want to leave. That's what he said. I really didn't want to leave. I just wanted peace. But you left. Never mind.
But now to your point about sometimes God just does the thing for you. And even though he said he didn't want to leave,
he left.
That urge to
expeditiously.
leave could have been the hand of God.
Mm-hmm. And
Like,
it was.
making him leave.
I needed to see what God could do in a matter of months. I graduated in May. I had a job August. Not only that, but everything. This is what when I say, even when God is available to you. Now, I'm not saying take advantage and love him here and do what you want to do over here. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he looks at the heart. So he's always going to work with you where you are. He don't force you to come up to where he at in order for him to deal with you. He deal with you right where you at.
Yeah.
So where I was at was mentally I was beaten up. Spiritually, I didn't have nothing to say. I was tired. I was exhausted. I was confused. I was done for. I had no clue what I was going to do. So I'm like, God, I ain't got no job. I ain't got no money. Like, what the world? Now, he did agree I'm going to pay rent. But we all know what happens in a marriage when somebody walks out. You got to cover it. You don't want to look like complete abandonment.
Yeah.
That's just papers. That's just a paper trail. So I'm like, thank you, but our child, I don't have a job. So, oh yeah, well, you go down to the unemployment office and yeah, it was like that. Straight cut like that. So I get on the phone with my mom.
Roger is the way you say it.
At the end of the day, I would need to be comfortable with myself more. And because I felt like in order for me to be my true self, or in order for me to have a big impact on the world, I would need to be with a group of people that I know, when that's not the case. I was kind of scared at first because I felt like I was going to miss them. My parents have told me many times that I have gifts and I need to use it, and like people wish they could do what I do, and I was like, I don't want to do that. Since I was really young, I really like to speak and make people feel better in life, and it's just something I enjoy. Hi, this is Nay, and that was Nay's Place. If you want to catch more, search Nay's Place on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and RXS Entertainment YouTube channel.
And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have a job. And I can tell you verbatim what she said. For anybody that's looking for a job, wake up at 7. Put applications in like you working a 9 to 5. So from 7 to 5 o'clock, I was putting in applications and I was searching for applications and searching for work. At 5, you stop.
That's right.
But I was doing that every day. And I was getting job opportunities. And then I talked to my pastor at the time. And I'm like, I don't want to go back home, but it's looking like that's what's going to have to happen because they're not calling me. I don't have no job. I don't know how I'm going to take care of my baby. What in the world am I going to do? And he was like, what you want God to do? I said, if you can, because I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to tell you how to make it, how it's going to work. And I said, okay. He said, what do you want God to do for you? I said, well, I don't want to go back home. I want to stay here. Ask God to help you stay. What do you need for that to happen? I need a 9 to 5. I need a job that's going to pay me enough so I can pay my rent by myself and take care of my child and pay for daycare. I need all of that. Like, okay, well, when you talk to God, be specific and tell him exactly what you need.
That's right.
So my first prayer was, God, I trust you and I know you got me. Like you have had my back all my life. For as long as I can remember, I've never known you to fail. I need some help. I need some help real bad because you know I don't want to go home. You know I want to stay here. You know I want to be on the worship team. You know I want to go to this church. Like, you know. So you know what it takes for me to get that. And my pastor told me to be specific, God. This is literally verbatim. So I need a 9 to 5. And at the time I didn't really know how to ask for certain hours. So I really was saying I need decent hours so I can be home with my child. I need money to be able to pay for rent and to take care of me and Kenny. And so job opportunities start coming in. Spectrum, Duke Energy, all these jobs, right?
Wow.
Okay. And so I got the job. They're like, okay, but you got to work from, I think they said like 9 to 10 or something. I would have been getting home really late. And I'm like, but I need to be home with Kenny. I said, okay, God, this is a good job opportunity, but I need a 9 to 5 because Kenny's daycare, you got to pick her up by 6. And I want to be home to have her in bed. Okay. Can you please help me get a job from 9 to 5? Next thing I know, my friend talking to me about my job that I'm at now that I started in 2019, United Healthcare. And I'm like, I did a phone interview, got it. Did the in-person interview, got it. The hours was from 8:30 to 5. Wow. 8:30 to 5, and I've been there ever since.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've seen God take me at my worst and do some amazing things. That's why I know, because I've not been perfect. I've not done everything by the book. I've acted out of anger, but he still took care of me. So when you trust him over your traumas, and it's crazy that we being for real, but I guess the real is that God is real and he take care of his people. So yeah, so y'all gonna hear me. I be talking junk because I be saying some stuff, but I love the Lord for real.
Yeah.
I'm definitely indebted to the man because he took care of me.
Yeah.
And he took care of my baby. And he made sure that none of that stuff touched Kindred. Even though I was going through all of that stuff, I was losing my mind. She didn't get to see that.
Yeah.
So I'm forever indebted. That was a hard time. It was a trauma. It was something, but I made it. So that's why we encouraging everybody too, that it's okay to let go.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Before it gets to that point.
Yeah.
When you see the red flags, the song said, I let you in, trying to make your red flags white again, trying to fix them, and they beating your tail. Not beating your tail literally, but they red flags is kicking your tail because you stressed out.
Yeah.
Like, stop. You're not supposed to fix. My mom used to call me to the hospital. She said, you want to take everybody and fix them and fix the situation. You want to make everything better. And I was just like, dang, she right. Like, I do be trying to fix everything.
Yeah.
Because I think I can do it. I'll love you forever. It's going to be all right. Just me and you against the world, baby. And they like, I don't want you to help me. Because once they deal with if you got somebody that you talking to or that you want to date, and they got a lot of issues with people, with life, with trauma, with stuff, they will take that trauma with them people, and when you the only person there with them, now they associate it with you. Yep. So now you the enemy.
Yep.
And then when you was like me, I was a child technically, so in my head I wasn't used to nobody being upset with me for nothing, like blaming me for nothing. So I got mad. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm here to help. What you talking about? Well, you're doing this, you're doing that. How? I'm confused. Yeah. But when everything was said and done, I realized that the issues were there, not just with him, but with me too. The issues were there before we even started talking to each other. Mm-hmm. He was a hurt individual. I was a hurt individual. And sometimes when two people are hurt, it just don't work. Yeah. So we have to learn to like look at a situation for what it is, literally. Like, this is it. I don't think that I can handle with what I have going on. That should have been the conversation, but it wasn't for a very specific reason. I got my baby out of that situation. So I had my little girl. I thank God for that. But if I could go back to talk to that Imani, I would have said, you need to realize that with all that you've been through, you can't take another situation where something is pulling from you. Like pulling and eating away at you mentally. Because you barely made it out of your childhood. You barely made it out of the childhood trauma. And then you trying to be in a relationship with somebody that got the same traumas as you. Girl, y'all finna kill each other. So, yeah, sometimes you just gotta say, look, this ain't it. Mm-hmm. And it's okay for it not to be it. Maybe there is somebody for you, but I'm not the one. I can't fix you. It's all right to not hold on to something when you realize it's not gonna work.
It's okay to let go.
Mm-hmm. For the betterment of the both of y'all. They may not understand. They might be mad. I can't believe you breaking up with me. Yeah, I am.
Right.
Yeah. You're going to be better for it, and I'm going to be better for it.
That's
it's fine.
right.
It's okay.
That's right.
I'd rather do that than to be stressed and arguing about stupid stuff. So Yeah. So, yeah.
Let go.
Yes. And then...
Let go so you can get your new thing.
God knows. Because I sure got my new thing. We praise God. So... Why? Well, we done addressed everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there one? Is you gonna let go? That's really the question.
Yeah, like
you
let's
need
be
to let
for
go.
real.
You really do need to let go
Yeah.
because you stay there probably any longer, you probably die spiritually, you know, and sometimes physically. Listen,
It's urgent.
this world is crazy.
Mhm.
There's some crazy folk out here doing some crazy things,
Yeah.
and people hide things in the dating stage. It's kind of like the story in the Bible that talks about the tares and the wheat.
Mm.
How the tares and the wheat in the beginning stages, they look just alike,
Mm-hmm.
very similar. You can't even tell them apart. And that's how people are in the beginning stages. You don't know all the crazy stuff they got going on,
Yeah.
but let it mature a little bit, and then you'll
Yeah.
see something that's kind of different. Like this is kind of off,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but they still kind of treat me nice. And then it gets a little older and a little older. Before you know it, you stayed. And the thing about it is you should have let go when you realize it got a little age on it, and you said, they ain't treat me like I know I'm supposed to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I'm not. This don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I let go. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like this ain't the end of the world. And you be like, but he look good. Or but she look good. Baby,
Yeah.
it's a whole world of folks out here that look good.
Yeah.
And what are you gauging that by? They don't
Yeah.
know. Because a lot of times the list that we got, we are forever changing. We ain't remaining the same, especially women.
Yeah.
We are not the same 18 at 28. At
That's
38, 48. We're not the same.
Yeah.
So what you want at 28 and you holding on to it,
Mm-hmm.
baby, at 38, that ain't even gonna be your preference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if they not treating you like they're supposed to be treated, just let go.
Let it go.
And
Let it
be
go.
for real.
Yeah.
Be for real.
Be for real, because
Please.
listen, hey, you stressing that, it ain't
And that
worth
stuff
it.
causes sickness too.
Yeah.
Yes.
It causes sickness.
What?
Like you was talking about, your chest was getting tight.
Yeah.
That's anxiety. All that stuff comes from foolishness.
Yeah, it could cause
Yes.
serious problems like
Yes.
strokes and heart attacks.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Down to those type of things, and then you can put yourself in a place where you start abusing your body
Absolutely.
and just coping with substance abuse
Yes.
and eating habits
Yeah.
changing, and it's causing you to fluctuate in different ways.
Men, I done learned this from just listening to other men talk. Men desire to be respected, and women desire to feel protected.
Yeah.
If he is not protecting you, and if she is not respecting you, and you've already made it clear that that's what you need, and they're still choosing to intentionally disrespect and not protect you, what else is there to talk about? We don't have to argue. We don't have to argue. We sure don't have to yell, because it's clear that you think you're right and I think I'm right. So what we talking about? I want to feel protected. You want to feel respected. If I'm intentionally disrespecting you, it's because I don't respect you. If you intentionally not protecting me, it's because you don't feel like I deserve to be protected. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go where my protection is.
Yeah.
Because there's somebody out here that would gladly protect me, willingly protect me. It's a woman out here that would gladly respect you, man, freely. You don't even have to ask for it. So why are we screaming to the point of putting hands on each other, throwing stuff, getting hostile? For what? It's like asking somebody to do something for you and then you get mad because they say no. What am I getting mad for when I can just be done with it and move on to something that's healthier? We don't have to stress.
Just let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when what I found happens when you actually let go of people and things that you feel like maybe I got it wrong, because like I said, I have to ask what you mean by that before I assume, because I don't want to talk in my trauma, so I got to ask you what you mean. Okay, if we talking and we respecting each other, we having this conversation, we respecting each other, we talking, ain't nobody yelling, and I'm telling you what I need, and you're saying, well, I don't know how to do that. That's a different situation. Now we can talk about what we need so that we don't have to let go. But if you think you're right and you're justified and you're moving through your trauma and you happy like that, and I'm telling you, you hurting me, and you chilling and you still hurting me, and you trying to make me think I'm crazy,
that's a different thing.
I gotta go.
That's a different thing.
Cause somebody is crazy, but it ain't me.
And
you ain't gonna drive me.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Not gonna drive me crazy. So we definitely have to know when to let go. And when we're talking on repeat and saying the same stuff, arguing about the same stuff, we tugging and pulling at each other. I don't understand. What don't you understand? It's nothing. Like, look, let bygones be bygones. Let's move a separate way. Maybe this just ain't the right time for us. Maybe one day it will be the right time. Who knows? Maybe he might grow up. You might grow up.
I ain't spinning the block.
And some people say that. I said that. But I spent. But see, I said that. Honestly, me and my husband now, at the time, we were just we wanted two different things, and we got tired of arguing about it. So I went my way. I ain't gonna keep asking the same thing. And he know that about me. If Imani say she done, she really done. She gonna go her way because you're not listening. And when he say, I need my space because you really about to drive me up a wall, I know when to shut up. I know when to be quiet, because I know, okay, he need this and I need this. So that was a situation where we had to learn to work together. I let go to figure out if this was what I was supposed to be in, because I didn't want to repeat. I don't want no more traumas. No more. So I had to let go to figure that out. And he came back for me. There's a difference in holding on to something and trying to force it to work versus this don't look right. Let's back up. And then if you find that you need me and I find that I need you, then we're going to do what it takes to make it work. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to force each other to stay in nothing and be fighting like cats and dogs. No, we're not finna do that. So, y'all, we got some decisions to make. We got to get okay in our minds and our hearts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's always a pleasure to talk to my lady.
Yes, this has been a wonderful episode.
I enjoyed.
Yes.
Yeah, we love y'all from our hearts. This was necessary.
Absolutely
necessary, because not everybody gets to do the talks. And I talked to both of y'all about everything. So. Yeah, this was necessary. We can't wait to talk to y'all again.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I think that is time. If y'all ain't getting no notes from that, listen, baby. I need you to go talk to Dr. Phil.
Girl.
Dr. Jesus.
Dr.
That's
there you go.
Said he would make everything all right.
And he will.
But yeah, we love y'all. This is us being for real. Unfiltered. Ain't nobody trying to hide nothing. Listen, it is what it is. And we hope our stories help you guys out in some form or fashion. It's always a pleasure.
Always, for real.
Always a pleasure.
Always.
The way you say